Welcome to Lesson 5 for Rhombuses, Compassion for Others. In this lesson, we're going to teach you how to change the way you see people and their behaviour so you can be less judgmental and more compassionate. The first thing we want you to understand is why you have a tendency to be so judgmental and critical of others. It's a fear problem. And in this case, both fear of failure and fear of loss are in play. You are fear of loss dominant though, and this means you see the world through mistreatment, mistakes, wrongdoing, right and wrong glasses. This means you're just wired to see the world as a threat. Every person on the planet could in fact wrong you, take from you, bother or offend you. They could also hurt others, or the planet itself. And at some level, you're subconsciously programmed to protect yourself and others from harm. Because you feel protective and defensive against harm, you're constantly on the lookout for it. This means you're looking for wrong everywhere. And the way our amazing brains work, we always find what we're looking for. If you look hard enough, you can find wrong, bad, inconsiderate, lazy, irresponsible, ill-informed, clueless, and uneducated people everywhere. As a matter of fact, every person on the planet is imperfect and at times shows up wrong. So there are lots of opportunities for you to stand in judgment of others. But what does this tendency to judge others get you? Is it creating the kind of relationships you want? Does it draw people to you or push them away? Do people feel safe with you? And if they don't, do you actually care? We realise that some of you don't. You like the way you are. You don't see much reason to change. But if you're unhappy with the current state of your relationships, your tendency to be critical, snap at others, correct them, get angry with them or judge their choices probably has something to do with it. In this lesson, we're going to teach you 4 ways to let go of judgment and create better relationships. Number 1, let people be wrong. Because you highly value ideas. Right and wrong matter to you, and we get that. But there are times where people, their feelings and their self-esteem need to matter more than the ideas and opinions. We know this is hard for you to hear because you really think right and wrong matter more. But if you want to have better relationships, you have to put people first. This means actually honouring and respecting their right to see the world as they see it, do things their own way, and even hold opinions you disagree with. You can still disagree in your head, but just don't disagree out loud. Out loud, you can make comments like, I understand how you might see it that way, or you have an interesting viewpoint. It's different from mine, but I respect that. As much as possible, practice letting them be wrong without correcting them, reminding yourself that other people can be different or think different and still have the same value as you. Number 2, remember they are different, but they have the same value. In Lesson 2, we taught you the power of changing your policy on human value and seeing all humans as having the same. You might want to keep listening to the Shape Up subconscious audio recording, You Are Good Enough. It'll help you internalize this principle. Number 3, their journey is none of your business. Every person on the planet is experiencing a completely unique, one-of-a-kind classroom journey, and you cannot ever compare yours with theirs. No one else will ever get your parents, your upbringing, your experiences and knowledge, even if they are the same shape. This means we cannot compare journeys and we cannot stand in judgment on how they're doing things in their classroom. We haven't walked a mile in their shoes. We have no idea what they've been through. Your job is to focus on your classroom journey and be the best version of yourself you can be. Number 4, every minute you're focused on what's wrong in someone else, you're missing what's wrong and needs to be worked on in yourself. One of the reasons you're critical comes from fear of failure. The more fear you have about not being quite good enough yourself, the greater your tendency to look for wrong in others. If you can find wrong in other people, the government, the police, the city, the church, the neighbours, anything else around you, it takes your focus off the bad in you. That's really the reason you do it. It feels safer. You subconsciously believe if you can see bad enough around you, then it somehow makes you the good guy. This is why you might like being on your high horse or soapbox about the bad in others. We recommend you watch for this behaviour and recognise that it isn't really making you feel better. Being this negative does not create happiness, and it pushes people away from you. Make a goal to be more positive. Look for the good, not the bad in everything, and take the time to praise, compliment and validate people around you. This will actually make you like yourself better, and it will greatly improve your relationships. You can do this.